What's up, creepers and geekers? Chris the Atari Creep. How's everyone doing today? Happy Friday the 13th. I hate that you can't really see the detail of this mask. It looks all washed out because the sun is right there. It's right there. But this is as legit as you get. I still need to put straps on it, though. I worked my ass off on it. I mean, see, we got paint cracking and everything. Maybe someday we'll have a look at that. But instead, today we're going to have a look at my favorite, not the best, my favorite of all the Friday the 13th. Part 6 comes very, 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 very close. Friday the 13th, Part 3. A new dimension in fucking terror. Richard Brooker, one of my favorite Jasons of all time. I got to talk to him a few times online, but never got to meet him in person. So I'm using, like the one with the, the deal there. I'm not going to be watching the 3D version of it because it's such a small screen. It's daylight, and I'm not even going to bother with that. My buddy has 3D TVs that every now and again they tease me with. I should buy myself a cheap little 3D TV if they made them small and watch this proper. But regardless, the disc is in. It's ready to go. I literally hit play and then pause. So I'm looking at a black screen. I'll tell you what we're doing here for the first, 30 seconds so you can see if we're at least somewhat sunk up. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3 and then hit play after the number 3, okay? So get yours all set up. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, play. And hopefully the sound doesn't come into here. The Paramount logo is coming up. The stars. The Paramount. Now it's all blue. Hopefully that's helping you sync up. And we're going to see a little bit of a recap here. Paramount Pictures presents. These were pretty dramatic for what they were, right? Just a couple of words, all quiet. Ding, 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 ding. Steve Miner, man. Did you know he has a cameo in The Last House on the Left? And this good old Ginny, probably one of the best survivor girls in the entire genre. Hopefully I have enough coffee to last me the whole movie. Here comes the son of Jay, or Jay's son. Man, you know what? Because after Friday the 13th Part 3, and I've said this a few times, there's a graininess. And it's because they were using more quality film and such. But there's just like this graininess to Part 2 and Part 3 that just... And even so much in Part 1. But, like, the only true way to watch these are truly on VHS, and it's not because I'm I'm not a purist of anything. But there's a graininess to it that goes with the whole feel of it. At least for those who watched them when they were still fairly fresh, They were still banging them out every summer. I'm sure that wouldn't mean anything to anyone who got to see them after the fact. Maybe they grew up during the after the VHS era and the DVD and Blu-ray era. Man, that head always looked good. Mrs. Voorhees' head. Many people have sculpted it, but nobody that I've seen so far have come close to making the prop look like it is on that table. They've come wicked close, and their talents are far superior to mine. But I'll tell you, man. You know what? Honestly, though the hockey mask is as iconic as anything can be, I still think Sackhead Jason's probably the scariest. I really do. It's so cool that they brought Betsy Palmer back, at least for the, this. What would you call it? A hallucination scene? Jeannie's super cute. I don't think Jason's having it, bro. I mean, he is kneeling. Maybe I said that a little prematurely, but... Oh, man, I don't know if you could tell, but I'm super stuffed up. I got Vicks over here. I put a little bit, you know. He's like, what are you doing? Wait a minute. You're not my mom's head. Oh, that right there always got me. Tetanus, baby. You know, Jason's just a bumbling idiot. He ain't even tall. They just all of a sudden made him this hulking. As a matter of fact, Michael Myers wasn't even tall in the first movie, too. I think dude is about my height. Maybe almost 6 feet at best. I want to say he was 5'9". Mick Castle was like 5'9", 5'10". I'm 5'9" on a good day. Oh, excuse me. So I did get to see this in the movie theater. I was 7 years old. My buddy John's father's just like, you guys want to go see that new Jason movie with the 3D or whatever? He says he's a killer movie, I think. And I don't even think he finished the sentence. I was on the phone with my mom. Can I get some money to go see a movie? You know, right around the corner. So he just on the way, just drove me over there. Went in and got my money for the ticket and some food. I had those glasses for the longest time. They were white. I remember they were white, and they had the one chevron, and they had them on the side, too. And I was expecting the blue and red, but it was like almost like what we have now, but it was still that cellophane material, that, what do they call that, a gel? I don't know. I know they say it's a gel in front of a lamp or a light, but when you're lighting like a stage or something like that, but you know what I mean. It was just a real flimsy, almost mylar, transparent mylar type material. You know, and this is also back when horror flicks, and I'm sure I've said this a few times, where they build it up. You know, people think they're boring now. They build it up. You get to know what the characters are all about. You see some kookiness, some booby here, whatever. And then the killing starts. And then it keeps ramping up in intensity to the final showdown. And then it just explodes with fucking all this shit. And then they bring it down with that music. Ba, ba, ba. Okay, would you give her a kiss? But the reason I was going to say, you know, I got to see this in the theater, I did not expect that. I actually thought the eyes were going to open. And we're like, okay, my buddy's tapping me. Her eyes going to open. This is going to be so sick. And all of a sudden, Friday the 13th, the fucking words that I've seen on the screen breaking through glass or exploding onto the screen was in my lap. I was like, this is going to be a fucking great ride. Great ride. I'd like to meet Larry Zermer someday. Zermer. Zimazimzoo, Richard Brooker as Jason. That always stuck out to me. That they put his name up there. Bang! This is the motherfucker right here. And that name always was synonymous with, like, creepiness for some reason. Whenever I heard the name Richard or Brooker, which wasn't too often with the Brooker. You know, there was like this darkness. I don't know. The earlier Jasons, I think after this, Jason had a different vibe. And obviously in part 5, he, you know, wasn't him. And then from there on, he was just like this zombie thing. But he really did have kind of like a hillbilly, kind of not so bright. You know, I don't want to use the R word, but you know where I'm going with that. I mean no disrespect. Frank Mancuso Jr. is the reason these even fucking exist. We got to give it up for him too. Sean Cunningham, you know, all these guys. Look at this. They broke out a crane for a sleazy Friday the 13th movie. And the TV I'm watching is an old Sylvania. You guys have seen it a few times. It's that silver one. That the screen itself is grainy. I did that on purpose instead of going into the living room on the great big TV. But I will say, if you have an opportunity to see this proper in the theater with the glasses, and I'm not talking about they brought the they brought this version in and they blew it out of a Blu-ray player onto the screen. Because there are theaters that'll do that. And then, you put on the red-green, red-blue. These ones, I mean, they're okay. It gives you more of a headache, and the 3D illusion just isn't the greatest. But these are the glasses it came with. They're silly. They're silly. Let's. You don't need to keep seeing this. Let me. It's these ones. But these ones were made specifically for the DVD box set here. I say box set. It's one disc. I do have that box set that came out in the early 2000s. The one with the awful music in between. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I can't tell you how many times I fell asleep watching the Friday the 13th movie with those DVDs. And you could hear that song in my damn dream, It just got annoying because it was looping and looping and looping. But yeah, if you get a chance to see this proper, so somebody told me who has a print of it. I forget where. There was somebody had posted that their movie theater had played it or something like that. And I'm telling people it's a bucket list to get it as an adult where I can appreciate it better. After now I know what to look for, When you're there in the theater brand new, it's like, ooh, you have a completely different, I don't want to say feel going into it, but you have a different mindset. Now you're just enjoying a memory. But when you first see it, it's like you're experiencing it for the first time, obviously. But it's organic. It just happens. It's a flow. But now we know what's going to happen, and we enjoy it for the I can't wait for him to cut that dude in half from the nuts down. But if you do get to see it proper, I was talking about that, and I was just like, I wish it was a life goal of mine. The guy's like, well, here's the information to who has the print. And I never did contact him. There are a couple theaters around here that do that, that will, accept. I'm sure the Cabot would do it up in Beverly, Mass. It's a little pretentious up there. It's an artist community, but. Aren't you an artist? Yeah, but I'm not. I don't have a lot of the same ideals, I'm still a bum, but it is what it is. But I would love to host it. I just don't know how to do it. Don't know how to do it. Can you imagine watching this, A Night with the Creep? I'd invite all of you. I mean, you have to pay for your fucking ticket. I'm not going to buy tickets for everyone. I would do giveaways, free tickets, 2 free tickets for you, and you bring me a date. Your sister. No, I'm just kidding. I'm engaged. Jason, the little shadow in the background. I mean, they took the whole copy of Halloween all the way to the nth degree through these. Look at all that produce. He's just like the fucking bunny running around, man. And a lot of people look at that and be like, no one would ever buy that. You got to remember, before, I think, 82, 83, there was this thing called the Tylenol scare where somebody was poisoning Tylenol. And that's where the whole safety seals and all that came from. Before that, it was possible to do that. And I wouldn't be surprised if some small store owners did do that. But this movie came out in 82, so it's right at that cusp. So it is believable that he would be able to do that. Now, taking a donut and then closing the thing, I think you would notice a missing donut. What am I going to do with you? She's like, put that filthy thing away. I grab it by the hips and hit her with the head. Shut up! Quit bitching. Yeah, that's right. Get your donut, dude. The doctor doesn't know what he's talking about. But even the way they're lit is completely different. It just has a gradier, a darker feel. They start feeling polished and clean later on. They lose some of the grittiness. They lose some of the sleaziness of the whole thing, you know? This always weirded me out. Why would there be a rattlesnake in New Jersey? I don't believe we have rattlesnakes on the side of the country, do we? At least not up in New England. I don't think they can survive. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I didn't see a rattlesnake until I was in Arizona. This always grossed my mom out. You can hear the plopping. I mean, that's how sleazy these things were. They were not really taken serious, you know? My man, hiding that jack. I'm not a drinker, but I get it. Oh, I get it. I could not shit there. If there's nothing to solidly close, I had a friend that had a bathroom with like a curtain. And I said, you know what, dude? I think I'm good for now. I mean, eventually, of course, I did, but I'm a shy shitter. I'll piss anywhere. I don't care about that. Got some turkey in my teeth. Here we go. Maybe I'll do this. I'll try to remember to put the mask on at every kill. I should have strapped this. You know, we're like, how's he gonna go? How's he gonna go? And you can see the pad on him. You can see the pad on him now. So you can definitely tell that, you know. Here we go. Here we go. Take a sip of Sunny D and put it back. I'll fucking show you. That's right. Ugh. Oh, that's such a great kill. Doesn't make sense that he would die that quick, but it was a great kill. I just like it. You know, I had a T-shirt that I got from Fangoria that had a plastic axe coming out of it, and I rigged a blood pump from a booger sucker and some fish tank tubing, you know. And I put that in the back of it, and I cut little things, and I used some latex to hold it all together. And I went into the bathroom of my middle school. I say middle school. We called it junior high, but... and I caused a big kicking things. Screaming, and then I just laid down there with the fucking thing. And as soon as someone walked in, I just let the blood spurt and shit. I thought it'd be fucking funny. Okay, hold on. You see the rat? Here he comes. He's gonna get her. He's gonna get her. You know why he's gonna get her with the knitting needle? Because fuck Freddy's sweater, right? She was making Freddy a sweater, fucking traitor. There we go. Hopefully that wasn't loud. Slamming the mask down. The fact that she was pregnant, too, the chick in the middle, in character anyway. Plus, I like that it said my name on the side of the stand. Always made it just... I mean, there was always a darker feel to these. You know, a lot of slashes in the time period had a goofy feel, like My Bloody Valentine is a great example. It's a fantastic slasher, but it has more of an upbeat, kind of silly feel, you know? Like, let's go make a movie and have a good time with it. These were pretty much the same thing, but they were kept at that level of, you know? Until, of course, part 6, but... Hell, even part 5 was kind of cheesy. The other thing about some of these movies is the format wasn't available on VHS, the proper one. So there were scenes like here where you see Shelley taking his little mask off and putting it back on and all that stuff that we used to think, like, so he takes it off here, right? And we see that. But then because the frame was cut, you don't see him sliding it back on like you do here. They're going to move the camera over a little here to the left. Okay, see? And you don't see that, him putting that down. They cut it to a close-up of the girls and then wait for her to say this, and then they zoom in on him. You'll see they do a little into him a little bit, see? And then it goes right to there. So for years, we all thought that was a continuity error. It turned out we just, only saw it once in the theater and couldn't remember that what we were watching was a scaled-down version. And these guys made no sense to be there. They look like they were in their 40s, right? I mean, none of them look like teenagers, to be perfectly honest with you. Smoke dope? It really is amazing that any of these even exist. I'm not going to lie. Here we go. 3D joint. Puff, puff, give, motherfucker. And he's all blowing it right in his pregnant girlfriend's face and shit. And that little thing? Well, sorry, hon. That's all that God gave me. I'm Irish, what can you say? But I'll clean your walls. I'll clean the walls. All right, that's enough of that. Oh, man, I've been here. I didn't take a handful of grass and eat it. But, oh, my God. I got pulled over once driving my friend's car. I didn't even have a license. I didn't get my license until I was 20. But I was working at this place called Friendly's. And this kid wanted to ride down to the train station, which was just down the street, but it was, So my other buddy's just like, here, just take my Cutlass. So I'm driving down, and my buddy needs to go into Boston. And then on my way back, I saw a couple kids I went to school with. And I picked them up. And then we get pulled over because a car had gotten stolen, and they just wanted to make sure the windows weren't broken because it was broken glass. So the cop literally just asked me to roll up the window. But before that, we get pulled over, and that little wait that you have to do while they're just punching things in and, radioing and whatever. Okay, the car's this and that. And my buddy looks at me and goes, I just got back from Boston, and I got a couple of ounces in my fucking pants. And I'm just like, I don't even have a fucking license, dude. This is getting bad. But no, that's a great moment. Not the dead rabbit. Her seeing that, because it adds to her tension of being there. The little side plot of Jason maybe fucking with her. I mean, you could just take it out. I really don't care, honestly. Everyone complains, like, how could that have happened if he had just gotten the clothes in this movie? It's like, so what? Look at what you're watching. The dude gets an axe in the forehead later on. And somehow, if you're looking for reality in something like this, and I don't know what to tell you, kid. I don't know what to tell you. And there are people who get mad at me when I say that. No, it's a movie and it needs to be intellectual. And not this movie. I'm willing to bet that's a real eyeball. It's probably a sheep eye. Look at that Dodge, man. Ram van, baby. I have warned thee. It's weird. I mean, they kill out Crazy Ralph knowing that he's part of the fucking formula. I guess it made sense, though. Crazy Ralph 3 times would have been weird, I think. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe they could have found him sleeping in the barn, drunk. Just because you're on this side doesn't mean he doesn't want you, You're all doomed. Doomed! American Racing Wheels. What were those ones called? Those weren't the Outlaws. I think the Outlaws were just completely solid. Those were those, but with the little round, I think 1.5-inch holes all the way around. A little fake out there that didn't fake anybody out because not only was the Jason sound not happening. I remember looking at that lake going, why is it green, bro? Oh, you know what I never noticed? And that's what I love about watching these over and over again. I never noticed Shelly actually made it down to the shore of the water. They were just all hugging on him or something, or fucking with him. Great trailer moment right there. Because on Friday the 13th, and this time you can't even keep them on the screen. A new dimension in terror. Yeah, you're fucking 50 years old, sleeping with a little kid. Teenager who's fucking 28. That dude always did bug me. I'm just like, this is like my dad. And she's supposed to be a teenager, right? They could be college. I mean, they don't really say, do they? Does anyone have a copy of the actual script? I know people in the early 2000s were buying those things up. They weren't all that expensive either. Like lobby cards and stuff like that. God, I used to have tons of that shit. I had so much Friday the 13th memorabilia. And not just newer crap that was made, you know? Like pre-NECA. Or right when NECA was just starting to do their thing. I think one of the first more modern things I got was... There was a Matchbox that had Jason on the top of it like this, you know? It was like, I believe it was a Jeep Cherokee or a vehicle the like, you know? It was yellow and it had the Camp Crystal Lake, the like kind of like egg-shaped ocean lake scene with the, you know what I'm talking about, the sign from the original. Shag carpet, baby. Oh, excuse me. And I'm not skinny enough. Look at that outfit. Those pink pants and the stupid collar. And the torpedo fucking bra. Classic. And the hair. Look at the hair. That's the hair that every young lady in my class had on school picture day. Every Ashley and Bridget and Susan. You never seen a hammock before? It's sad that this place burned down. You can still go visit the barn. I think you have to get permission, obviously. So it's something called like the Saugus Movie Ranch. But there were, a couple of cats. They were hanging out there, and I guess they got caught up in a rainstorm. So they went into the house and lit a fire in the fireplace. But they didn't know that most of the fireplace wasn't, rock. The fucking place burnt down. Like the house here, the cabin, not the barn. The barn is still there. Apparently, they took pictures and they posted all over a forum. I remember seeing the pictures. I remember people freaking out about it because they were like making fun of Jason fans. And at first, everyone was like, this is bullshit," but it turned out to be real. And somebody who's running one of the big Friday the 13th websites. I can't remember which one. Let us know in the comments. They're the ones who got the pictures to the authorities, and they helped track the dude down. And because they had some money and influence, they didn't really do much time or anything, but it's kind of a shame. As a matter of fact, there's a really good documentary that was going to be about this movie, narrated by Rick here. He's now a chiropractor, I believe. And it was originally going to center itself around Friday the 13th, Part 3. But then after the passing of Richard Brooker, it kind of shifted over to more of a tribute to Richard, as well as Friday the 13th. And pretty much everybody came back to do an interview. It was hosted by Rick here. I think I just said that. I believe the dude who did the documentary was in Arizona. When he was filming at the time, I was like, can I be in it, please? I never got a response back. I wept. I wept. These fake outs never really did anything for me. But then again, I mean, it wouldn't. It doesn't make sense for Jason to have already, this early into this part of the story. But it's the third one, so, I mean, you could change it up a little, I suppose. Hope you're not hearing the creaking on my chair. If you are, I apologize. Look at that armoire. That's so good. I guess he still has that. He said in one of the interviews on that box set, he's like, yeah, I asked him to take the mask. They said no. But he did get to take that axe and little hairpiece home. Oh, y'all excuse me, my fucking hip. That always bothered me, too. It's like, he just gave this chick a car. I don't even think he knows who she is. Well, I'm just adjusting my hip here. I'm doing stretches. I'm doing Kegels. There we go. Watch this run. Oh, my God. We laughed so hard. Like, doopy 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 doop. The fucking pants. Everything about this fucking kid was perfect. And apparently they just found him like that. They were just like, hey, we wrote a movie and we think he'd be a great, great fit for it. It's that creep Shelley. Vicks. Do they still make those ones that you throw in the fucking bathtub? Or the shower, rather? Do you remember those? Those would get so fucking strong. They would get so strong. Your eyes would burn. But I tell you what, if you were congested and you just can't, I mean, it could be concrete in there, right? Someone could have poured concrete into your nasal passages. And you throw one of those Vicks pucks on the tub there. It fucking works. It works. I'm actually thinking about going to get some Tapatio. Club magazine. What a sleazy magazine for a sleazy movie. I had a crush on this chick. I think it was the leather pants that did it for me, and that snarl. The white dude there on the right, he apparently lived in Arizona too. My friend told me that he used to see him all the time at a TGI, not TGI Fridays, that was Kerry King. Where did he say he used to see him all the time? I can't remember now. They didn't set that one up good enough. Say it nice. Please be cool. Great line, horrible fucking execution. In all fairness, I don't think he was like a true actor, though. I think he was someone who wanted to get into acting. This might have been his first actual gig. So I'm not picking on Larry. Larry seems like a really good dude. And like I said, I'd love to meet him. I mean, after all, he is responsible for introducing our boy to this sexy fucking thing. There's actually a legit one of these, a true actual hockey goalie mask. It has the pinched front, but it still has like the holes, not displacement. I don't know if you know this, but it was actually based off of a real goalie mask from the time, but they re-sculpted it. It's not an actual goalie mask that they just put on there. There was just something about it was just too narrow for the makeup and everything, so they made it a little bit wider, and they opened up the holes, and they created their own thing and put the chevrons on it to differentiate it from, other ones, so they couldn't get... I'm guessing at this point, so they couldn't get sued by whatever sporting goods companies that were making them. And I remember going to sporting goods stores up the old wazoo, not being able to find this for years. But I found a lot of close approximations. And there's one here for sale for $200 locally. If it was $100 and I had it, I probably would pay it, but $200 would be too much. I mean, it still has the back piece. I mean, you could use it. It's a functioning. It's a functioning thing. You know what? Let me pull it up on my phone here, and we'll change the viewpoint. Let me see. Let me see if it's still for sale, and hopefully you'll be able to see it. Hopefully. Oh my goodness, I love this movie. It's a Yamaha 650. That's what it looks like to me. Might not be. All right, where is that mask? Let me go into my saved items because you know I did save it. Ah, it's sold anyway. Oh, wow. I mean, I knew it would sell. I didn't think it wasn't worth it. But hopefully you can see it. It actually looks more like Rick from Splatterhouse with the, like I said, that pinch front end. Great stuff, right? The guy sold it. $200. Good for them. I had a chance to buy these all day long for whatever they cost on the shelf back in the day. Ah, it's a shame. You know what? I'm going to save the picture anyway. I might have already, but I might have already. That little piano sting. Ding. Zooming in on it. It's got a weird eye. The mannequin head. Yep, he's proud of him. Somebody give Shelly a fucking hug. He looks like he's a good hugger. Look at that ass, huh? I'd slap his ass. It's 2024. Gives a fuck, right? No lines anymore. It's my boy. Stay with me. Such a horrible... These movies have something, and maybe because they were just very popular at the time, but like Part 2 had a Volkswagen Bug, this one has a Volkswagen Bug, Part 6 has a Volkswagen Bug. I can't remember if Part 5 or 4 did, but... Did Part 1? You ever notice that dude in the background, by the way, when they're driving off? I pointed that out to somebody, about a year ago we were watching this. And they're like, oh my God, I've never noticed that. Oh, look at that ass. Smack that ass. Maybe those are outlaws. Maybe they're outlaw 2s. Back on the rims, by the way. Look at the pinstriping, man. Oh. I love those boots. I used to dress just like this when I was a kid. I thought I was a greaser. Except I had a leather. And then I put the jean vest over it. This van always made me think of my sister, by the way, with the stickers. My sister was really into... Springsteen, the boss, and she just had a big poster of his ass, the album cover with his, and then, the bumper sticky here. Have you ever done that? Oh my God, I've yet to do it without getting some gasoline in my fucking mouth. Fox is a fox. If you're watching this, 2 thumbs up. wonder why you didn't see her in more movies. So I was watching Red Letter Media last year talking about, they made Mike watch all the Friday the 13th, and they did a 2-part, you know? And they were like, and then the biker chick goes in there and she's amazed by like the stuff. Like she's never seen stuff. I never really took it as that. I took it as she's just not used to the country life, you know? You know, they're bikers. They're probably city folk. They got Jason in the background. Just kind of, you know, he's still human. I think human Jason is scarier. Because it's more realistic, you know? Like, I could go into a barn and some big fucking idiot like that could put a fucking hatchet in my face. Whereas I could go into a barn like that and some maggoty head zombie more than likely won't put a hatchet in my face. A giant turquoise. Shit. That was a missed opportunity. Although, they do show the pitchfork coming in later on, so maybe it was just more foreshadowing. Now notice something, children. They're taking their time here. And they're giving you little bits of information. They showed him behind her, just kind of, you know. She hears it, she looks up, the thing comes down, the music's just playing, kind of monotone. It's not, nothing's fucking exploding, going, I hate that so much. It was cool in music videos and maybe on the House on Haunted Hill remake, which I do like, by the way. I like that a lot. I think that's an example of a remake done well. Because they completely did their own thing while keeping the source material pretty, respectful. I mean, they kept it intact for the most part, the idea and everything. And it always reminded me of the song by Merciful Fate called 13 Invitations. I think it was on the In the Shadows album. Came out in like 91 or 2. Great album. Doesn't really get talked about too much. If you've never heard the song 13 Invitations by Merciful Fate, check it out. Check out the whole album. It's good stuff. But if you've never seen House on Haunted Hill, maybe we'll watch that here sometime. It's public domain, so I could probably have it up on the screen. And we could literally watch it together. You just have to have your own audio. I wouldn't have it up too loud. See, right there, you can look around and see if someone's up there, right? I'll give people this one. How did he not see her hanging there to the left? Unless there's something there that we don't see that the filmmakers do, but they assume that we see it. It's pretty sick. That sick! Love it. Fuck it, I'd leave her up there, you know? She's doing a good job of being dead. I mean, she's fucking... It's believable. This guy's death scene is definitely, although the blood on the cigarette is a nice touch. But that's like how a fucking 12-year-old would pretend to die, you know? And then, yeah, we'll just look at Fox one more time. Why not? Just to let you know. There was a movie that came out recently that I watched. I used to have it on. I think I might even still have it in here. Let me get the title. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because right now Jason's doing some work. You can't see it. Like, he's literally taking Fox down and getting things ready to do the thing. And you don't see that part, but there was a movie. Where's my movie folder? That I have in here. And it was literally just about a dude just walking around. It was a serial killer. It was a Jason knockoff. But it was from the killer's point of view, him just walking around. I think I still have it in here. Let's see, Beetlejuice, Terrifier, Terrifier, Terrifier. The Last Stop. I don't think I've watched that yet. Oh, I can't remember. Something in a Violent Nature or something like that. He's like, shit. He turned around, saw a body, and was going to be all tough. And he said to himself, I can't be tough here. Oh, man. Fucking face is just, And I've taken Claritin and shit. My eyes, nose is still itchy. I actually used to dress up like Jason in this movie, like for every day. I had a pair of gray slacks and an olive button-up shirt. It wasn't the dicky one that everyone uses now, but it was a legit, just almost like something Wrangler would sell, you know. But I got it specifically because it didn't have any tags. I'll try to remember to put it down below. But I did a video about a non-controversy, kind of a controversy that nobody, you know, it was one in my own head. It's something that always bothered me about how people commented on this one scene in here. And I'm pretty sure I proved it my way. And talking to Richard Brooker, he saw it my way too. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because this scene here, fuck this scene. I hate this scene. Everyone hates it, and I know it's cliche, and someone's going to be, all right, enough with the stupid backstories, you know? But it is part that, I don't know, even then it was just like, but moving forward, if you were to take that out, then the next thing that I wanted to talk about just wouldn't make sense when he's lifting the rope up and his mask by accidentally lifts up. According to the story, it was shot on purpose to lift up, but as far as the story is concerned, it was actually the rope that does it. It was supposed to be an accident. Jason was like, oh shit. But she goes, it's you. That would be the only thing that would suffer from that. Or they could have just left a little conversation between her and the chick. You know, he doesn't know what happened. Just leave it at that, right? And that way you don't have that stupid flashback scene. That makes no sense. Again, I know I'm pretty harsh on the whole just suspend disbelief, but I am realistic in some things. You know, if you just make a dumb choice, you make a dumb choice. He's like, can I jiggle your fucking apples? Women have ovaries, by the way, and they're like testicles on the inside. You can have to put your hand in there and for those of you who are not familiar with females. She's like, I don't think so. Oh, I didn't put the mask on when Jason killed the bikers. Here, we'll do it. 1, 2, 3. There we go. See, the formula had already really been set by here. Between the first two and all the other slashers. So, when she goes to sit at the lake, and the dude grabs her foot, I'm hoping you guys have seen this already. Hopefully you're not watching it for the first time with me. I mean, that's just implied, I hope. Like, the music just sounds, it's frantic, but it's like, it's just too soon for that kind of attack, you know? This is where Jason comes and does it quick and, you know? Trailer moment. What a great shot, right? It's so simple. And there, he just got an idea. She's wicked cute. She became a news reporter in California. I believe she's still on the air. I always loved her neck. I'm really into necks. I like long necks and long legs. I always thought she had an elegant neck. Tracy Savage, if you're watching this, I like your neck. I believe that was her name, right? Yeah, if we just left this out and left a little, little vague. He doesn't know what happened, that kind of thing. Or maybe still have this, but not go as deep. Like, don't show the visible flashback. I know what they were trying to do, and it makes sense for the time. But they even did her hair like a younger lady. Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. You only have so much money, right? The boots, though, those boots, I'd wear 'em. I'm over here like they should have got rid of this, and I'm watching it, not even commenting anymore. Or at least had them in the sack, overalls in a sack. I mean, you're blurring over it. It doesn't have to look perfect. And again, back then, people just saw this in a movie and then moved on. And then when VHS came out, only the kids like me rented them all the time. I don't know. It just seemed like a lot of the things that I really enjoyed growing up, like Indy 500. I'd pull that out, and people were like, yeah, I'm good. Air Sea Battle, same thing. Or as we had Target Fun, Telegames 27. I woke up in my own bed. They wrote that in, and it's like they didn't think. Jason doesn't leave people. I guess it's implied that he S.A.'d her, but she was against saying that happened, and I don't know, whatever. I I think it would have ended the series at that point. Maybe they still would have made the final chapter. I don't know. But if they had gone all the way with the whole he S.A.'d her, I don't think it would be out of character in this timeline if it just stopped here. Because think of what he is. He's just this dude in the woods. He's not intellectually all there. And he's basically just a big hulking mama's boy, A 13-year-old trapped in a fucking grown-ass monster's body. He would have urges like that, I mean, there was a scene in Friday the 13th Part 4 where Jason was going to reach out and touch Triss on the breast. And I think if they had gone with the S.A. line, because Jason started to not be scary after a while. He started to not be a villain, which I'm fine with. I used to love rooting for the fucking dude. But if they'd continued with that and then he had done that, it would have actually made a very interesting contrast to who he was, Not that I think he would have been a better person or anything. You know what I mean? I'm not condoning any kind of assault. I've spoken upon people victimizing others and how I feel about that in the past. And let's just put it this way. I've always wanted to be the Jason Voorhees of justice for people who have been victimized, mostly children. You know, just let me live out my urges on people who've destroyed innocence. Period. This is before Dexter. I thought this shit when I was a kid. How crazy is that? Yeah, a little insight. Yeah. This is heavy shit. I should have smoked before coming on. I always liked that shirt. I don't know why. It just looked like he hadn't cleaned it in years. He's just been living in it. But it's just so hippie, even though it's a button-up, right? It looks like a button-up. Yeah, it's definitely a button-up. But it still has that kind of over-the-top, hippie, flowing shirt vibe. Looks like people have been pissing on it. That's a great shot right there. Why don't people do that anymore? Always with the... But you know what? Studios aren't going to do something that doesn't make money. And they obviously keep doing the things that we don't want them to do because it's making them money. Hey, don't get me wrong, you two are cute. This chick's cute. I just don't like her hair. I think she's cute. I care if you do or not. Cute little butt. All right. Uh-oh. You see what I mean? I spoke on it prematurely. There was just something about the way the music was. It just didn't seem right. Everyone's like, dude, this is your favorite movie. Why are you bashing on it? I'm not. I gotta be real, you know? I have to. Hey, you know what, sweetheart? You could have at least, at the very least, give him a handy. You know? It's just a sympathy. Just rub one out for the poor guy. You know he's not going to get much. It ain't going to take long. You might touch his lap, and that's it. He's done. No, he's not wrong. And that's why you're going to fucking die. Well, no, she would have died either way. Whether she rubbed one out for him or not. Almost out of coffee. Oh, man. Glasses on. I kind of like that you don't see what happens to him. I really do like that. I like it a lot. Sorry, guys. I'm reading an email. I'm trying to get into this art show. Local here. That's one of the bigger ones. Oh, sorry. I like that little guitar sting. I think, no, it was probably on the keyboard, but. Now, see, jump scares like that, I'm good with. Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right, we're going to do the wallet thing. And according to one interview from like around 2000 and whatever, 3 or 4, he still has that picture on his fridge to this day. That's him and his mama. Here we go. One of the most iconic parts of this whole series. As a matter of fact, I think I'm wearing that shirt. I am wearing that shirt! The shirt that, and I did a video on this shirt. Again, I'll try to put a link down below to anything that's related to this. But the original shirt said mask, and it had a hockey mask on it. You know, a stylized version of it. Mask since 1980. I'm like, no, that's not true. Oh, there he is! I still get fucking chills when I see that. Not scary chills, but like... Because this right here is what kicks it off. A few people died, and that was nice. It was like an appetizer. But this is that first bite of the steak. Give it to her, bro. Fuck your feelings. Should give him a handy. There's just something about his attitude and his body language. Boom, he doesn't give a shit. She's dead. Now on to the next group. I would love a cleaned up poster of him looking there in the corner, and then you could see the place. I mean, they don't frame it that way at all, but I've always thought just someone giving me an illustration of him exactly in that moment, and then the light on in the room. Fantastic. I forget what I was talking about before this, so once Jason comes out in his mask, I'm good. Man, she's really cute. She's probably one of the cutest in the whole series. One of, I said. Little moments like this. Now that he's kind of out there, you know. Here's a fun trivia fact. With the exception of course, the Part 2 scenes in the beginning, nobody in this movie says the name Jason. Not one. It's okay to exclude Part 2 because that was a different movie. They just recapped, you know. We knew something was happening here. This is probably this and the sleeping bag kill and the dude in Part 2 with the machete. Oh, no, not yet. Not yet. Machete to the face, the wheelchair guy. All 3 of those could interchange my favorite. I guess it depends on my mood. I suppose it depends on if I'm watching it, you know? Here we go. Here we go. He's going to come out. Titties. Titties. Get him, Jason. Cut his dick off. Ugh. God, the sound design and everything. That's so impactful. And the way he... I probably would have said it before the machete came down. Oh no, my boobs! Who the fuck has a Buddha statue in their bathroom? Really? Do you have a Buddha statue in your bathroom? I don't want any faces in my bathroom. I can't even look at magazines with fucking faces on it. I told you, I'm a shy pooper. But think about it. If you're on social media and there's a picture of your face, there's a good chance that you've watched people poop. You just don't know it. I love the furniture. The cheesy log with just a... Sure, that's just like MDF or something like that. For shelves. Like everything's got to be capped off with a birch tree. You're super cute. Please remember this is 1982. She probably would have had a beer not giving a shit about it. Fangoria. I used to get those, man. I used to go to this place in Saugus. It was kind of next to a Papagino's across from Kmart. And we get our horror mags there. Here we go, here we go, here we go. This one was always visceral to me. The way the blade pops up, you can see it like stretches the skin, and I don't know if you noticed, but there was an article of Tom Savini before she flipped to this page. I think that's issue number 1. That's so good. The blood coming at you in 3D. But yeah, just the way that, and there was just something about the shape of the knife. I saw one of those, and I remember I had one. I stuck it up in my house, in my room, and my father found it. He's just like, "What the fuck do you have this up here for?" I even made like a cardboard sheet for it and shit. That always reminded me of BD 3D, the Muppets there, whatever his name is. Probably Debbie having an orgasm. Alone in the dark. Great line. Be a man, man. Jesus, that's a lot of salt. She just said, wow, sodium. Sodium intake, overload. Nosebleed in 3, 2. There's 7-year-old me is watching this guy going, what a bitch. My buddy's probably going to look at me going, I could beat him up. Now, when everyone steps on a wet floor in a horror flick, you know they're going to get electrocuted. They wouldn't focus on the water so much. They ain't going to drown them. I mean, you could. You could drown in half of an inch of water. Maybe even less. You just have to breathe in the water and keep breathing it in, not get oxygen. I always thought to myself, why do they have a dead skunk in there? Never occurred to me that it probably just crawled in one day and died. I found that picture once. I found, or at least somebody liked it as much as I did, and reproduced it. I found it. It was on like a magazine sheet. Found it flipping through like old car ads for magazines and stuff at at one of those like antique flea market places that have like the cabinets and what a great makeup job. I know she just said that, but I mean that in real. You know, for a dude who'd never acted before, I know I made fun of him earlier, but that was a pretty damn good death scene. I love how you can kind of see behind the mask a little bit with the light shining through. Oh! I love the violins. What's going on? Oh no, jelly! Actually, I'm going to make the thumbnail while watching this. I have a really fun idea for the thumbnail. I have a fun idea for the thumbnail. Get her. Man, these kills are great. And there we go. All right. Oh, I need my glasses. You know what's ironic? Technically, right now, you see my thumbnail, and I haven't. I'm about to make it. That'll fuck with you, won't it? It would fuck with me. Oh, man. I love these scenes. I love them. I love it. I love it. I love it. Background eraser. That's what I use for my thumbnails. I use my background erasers. Where is that one picture of me with my Jason mask on? So, if I'm to read that correctly, Jason literally took the popcorn off the counter and put it on the oven so it would burn. Because she clearly took it off and then poured a bowl, put a fuck ton of salt in it. Where's that? There it is. There it is. Yeah, Rick, go outside and take a look around, bro. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So tragic. I guess Nike paid him to wear these sneakers. According to him. Probably the most glorious kill in cinema history. Now you can see the string and everything in the wire, but in 3D in the movie theater, nope. All right. All right, let's make the thumbnail. Make the background. I'm going to use this image here. Go to my YouTube folder. That'll do. That's cool. I'm coming out of the movie screen. Oh my God, with the fucking phone already. You know what? From now on, I'm just going to unplug the fucking thing when I do a video. I'm getting so sick and fucking tired of that happening. Oh, that's problematic. Can't be having dead people just fucking slinging around, you know? I'm not gonna wear this for the whole scene. I'll do it at the right moment. Big window. We know what that means. Here we go. Oh man, that's so violent. And he's like, it said surprise, motherfucker. He goes, dead guy, motherfucker. Oh, goddamn. That looks awesome. All right, back to the thumbnail. Friday the 13th, Part 3 movie poster. That's what I do. And I snatch it up. Give the poster an outline so you can see it. Oh man, that's too bad that you had to see your dead friend like that. He just ran. Jason doesn't run. He just fucking ran. He runs throughout both of these movies, and he runs even a little bit in Part 4. Man, what a visceral. I mean, this whole... You gotta think about what she's feeling, too. Her friend there is dead, and she's pregnant, and... I always get this wrong. The knee. Damn. What are those, chick jeans or those Jordache? I think they're Jordache. Not the Gap. Those are probably Jordache. Look at Frankenstein. I'm gonna get you. All right, let's rate the word commentary. Commentary. Ironically, I use the Friday the 13th font, by the way. Whenever you see the white letters with the red, that is the Friday the 13th font. I have used that, well, since I started using background eraser. I used to use not KineMaster. I use that for my video editing. This thing called Photo Grid. And I can't find it anymore. I have it on my other phone, but... Jason came at you in 3D. That was awesome. Alright, let's give it a little bit of a shadow. Move it over here. Give it a little more opacity. Commentary. And then I'll write Happy Friday the 13th above it. Because these are Jason's woods. This is pretty smart. They took the old trope and they twisted it a little bit. They gave you the whole, yeah, of course, right? And then they're like, nah, we got this. You're all right. But then the car starts sinking. God damn that foreshadowing. All right, hold on. There you go. I haven't even saved it yet. That's my commentary thumbnail. You didn't think you were gonna get cool shit like that, huh? All right. He runs like I do. Honestly. I think I would make a good Jason. I may not be tall and shit, but... You know, I pretended to be him for so long. Like, you know, the little lurker, like in here, after he gets inside, he just kind of looks around and knocks things over. I used to pretend that, you know. If no one's home, I'd have the music in my head going... Dun. I'm looking around, I'm hearing a ding, ding, ding. I don't care if you think I'm a fucking idiot or a weirdo. It gives me joy and I have fun with this, so fuck your feelings. That's awesome. There's a meme that you can get with him doing that. You know, this, back and forth. And there was one that someone put in front of an ice cream display. You know, at an ice cream shop, cone shop. It looks like he's like, Rocky Road, mint chocolate chip. Rocky Road, mint chocolate chip. See, I don't know. Seeing Jason do shit like this, ripping through things to find this chick, I genuinely... Alright, see how the mask looks here? That's how my mask looks. Color and everything. I got the vertical, you know, check marks, and I got the scrapes here, and I got this one that goes across here, and this here. A lot of people don't get the nose right. They just paint it white. What you gotta do is you gotta get a clear blank and paint white on the inside. And then hit the entire thing with your almond color, or whatever color you're gonna go with. And then you can sand it away, and because it's a clear plastic, it'll still show shiny, but it'll be white. And people say, well, why don't you just get a white mask and just do this? There's just something about after you sand it down, the shine goes away or something. It just has a deeper look. It looks deeper than just a piece of plastic. It just gives it this illusion. It's pretty cool. So there's your tip for the day. If you're going to make a Jason mask, there's, I think, Top Notch Hawks. There's a few makers. There's a few makers on Etsy. I got this from one of them. He just gets right up. He's just like, oh, I'm going to get you. The way the angle here is when he puts the machete into the thing, for some reason my brain sees his hand doing it this way. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because those shirts are usually open on the outside of the hand. And maybe his shirt's twisted. So when he's like this, I don't know. I don't know. They're smart kids, you know? Oh, no, this is it. That's it right here where he does it. Or maybe not. Now, I know everyone sits there and be like, no, don't just hit him again. I probably would. I'd probably do it until I saw stuff coming out of the skull. See, right there, the mask looks a little too white for me. I know it's just the lighting. And I always thought they edited this weird. It's almost like they said, okay, now go, when he drops. So there's like a little pause before he drops right here. It's like they just, like a microsecond too soon. All they need to do is shave it just a little bit and it would have been organic. But again, I mean, you gotta remember, Paramount Studios was all kinds of embarrassed by these. Little owl noises in the background. Again, another moment like this. You're calm, you're cool. You know it's not over. But movies weren't afraid to do this. Now everyone has to have a, you know? Like a TikTok generation. Vine generation. At least TikTok now you can get up to 10 minutes. You know, wasn't it like 15 seconds when it first started? No, that was Vine. TikTok was actually, wasn't it something called like Musical.ly or something like that? Or people used to lip sync on it. And then it became TikTok. I mean, the original logo is still kind of in there. What was that app called? A lot of people used to use it. I'm telling you, watch this carefully. It's the rope that lifts the masks, not him. See? He wasn't saying, here's my face. He was saying, shit, my face just got exposed. But the actor was told to do it, you know? Look at those ears. Motherfucker, this is awesome. Ah, that looks so good! I've never seen anyone stabbed with a machete before, but I can't imagine it's comfortable at all. And the sound he makes when he gets the axe in the head. That was awesome in 3D. I mean, his hands are literally in your face. I'm just like, oh my God. Oh, if they could have just paused that. If they could have just paused that. That was pretty sick too. The only thing I don't like about 3D is, well, one, they overuse it when it's popular. But there's this phenomenon with 3D where everything looks smaller. Does that make sense to you? Like, the background seems fine, and they don't look small in comparison to the background. There's just this look of smallness to it. Do you know that photography style that everything looks like a little toy? It almost has that vibe, but not to that extent. I'll admit, I kind of wish they hadn't done this part. But only because she wouldn't have known who Mrs. Voorhees is. And I mean, that's not even what bothers me about it. It's just repetitive. I mean, have a jump scare at the end, but don't do it at the same exact point. I mean, the first one, think about it. The music was playing nice and calm, and it's my understanding that they chose a spot in the music where it made the least sense for anything to happen. You know? And they blocked it in such a way that it was calming, and the cops showed up, so now it's safe because, you know, when the cops show up, Those are the good guys, right? I don't want to hear any shit. They're the good guys. Fuck your feelings. And then the little dude comes out of the water and grabs her. And the second one, he comes through the window. You know what? That's fine. That's fine. But they always, it's funny, like with everyone, they're like, all right, let's just be the last one. But don't make it too permanent. That was the executive board of every Friday the 13th movie. That is so cool. They're like, just play with the window like you're trying to get through it. What a great look. Genuinely. Yes. What a great look. I've always wanted to try to sculpt that and make a bust. I just don't think I have the sculpting, you know what I mean? When I sculpt, it's always abstract because I can't sit there and sculpt this, you know? Symmetry's not the greatest for me. Yeah, I'm going to talk over this part. I don't give a shit. My head is still in that cabinet in the middle of the woods, but here I am. Chris, what about suspending disbelief? There are some things that are just stupid. At least make it make sense, even if it is a dream, you know? There's threats of snow next couple of days. I know other areas have gotten them, have gotten snow, but... Ooh-wee. I also ordered from the dispensary while doing this, and I just got a text message saying my order is ready to rock and roll. There's this stuff that's called... It's called, oh my God, what is it called? Something Monster. It's not Green Monster. Maybe it is Green Monster with the AH instead of Monster. There's a zombie on it. I'm not normally a sativa kind of guy, but I like indica. Sativa brings me down. It makes me feel creative, but it brings me down. Indica, the right one, if it doesn't make you super tired, focuses me. And it takes all the anxieties and my PTSD symptoms and, you know. But if I'm in the mood to get blasted out of my mind, I'll buy a sativa or something. That was a great image right there. There was a guy that used to make like little dioramas. This is, you know, the early 2000s. He actually made one for a contest I held. His was the second prize, or the first prize. I forget what second prize was. Third prize was I gave it was during Jason X. I gave the soundtrack to Jason X away. What was the first prize? I can't remember. Maybe that was the first prize. The second prize was... I can't remember. 2 people donated their... You know? And I had people dressing up as Jason going to see Jason X. And I wanted to see some of the greatest pictures, you know? And the dude who won was able to get onto the roof of the movie theater and have his Jason costume with his... You know? Almost like... in part 6 when he's on top of the Winnebago. It was so epic. I'm like, yeah, dude, you're the wiener. In fact, he collaborated with me to make an article on a website that I used to have. It was called f13fan.com, .ya.com. It was a free, you know, domain thing. And he made a Jason Part 7 costume that was legit. And he taught me how to do all that. And we made like a little how-to on my website. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. But I believe he's the one who won first place. And then we did. Because I was like, dude, that costume, bro. He's like, yeah, I just finished it. So there you go. Friday the 13th, Part 3 in 3D. A new dimension in fucking terror. The Terrifier. I put my face on the Terrifier there. So there you go, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments on this one. A lot of people don't like it, and I totally understand why. But it was the first one I got to see in a theater. It was the first 3D film I got to see in a movie theater. The next one I got to see was I didn't see Amityville or Jaws. It was a cartoon movie. It was basically a Star Wars ripoff. Star Lords or something crazy like that. And they had lightsaber whips. And crazy. And the dude had to find a hilt to a sword. And it was boring. And I've watched it like within the last year or so. You can find it here. I just don't remember the name of it. But that was the only other 3D movie I saw in 3D until the craze came back in like the 2000s, mid to late 2000s. But so this movie holds a lot of nostalgia for me, a lot. And when I think of Friday the 13th, the first thing I think of is honestly this image right here. Him standing on that dock after throwing the harpoon through the head and looking up at that. You know, that to me is Friday the 13th. And it was one of the movies that I would watch more than any other one for the longest time. Part 4, I kind of liked. I like it a lot more now because as a film, it's put together better. And Ted White is just such an amazing Jason. He probably is the actual best Jason of them all. I like him better than Kane Hodder. Kane Hodder brought something to it. But when you take Kane Hodder's movement, and the credits are all over, and I'm still yapping, but you're going to have to listen to me. Kane Hodder in Part 7 was awesome. And he had that... But you take his physicality and put it in different costumes, it just looks silly. To me, anyway. To me. Kane Hodder's the man. Don't get me wrong. He's amazing, and he is the definitive Jason. But... I mean, even him in Hatchet, you know, playing Victor Crowley. It's the whole... And playing the Friday the 13th game, you could tell those movements were Kane Hodder. He was very specific. And they're in our brain for a reason, because he owned that role. But honestly, I think Ted White was the best Jason, the scariest. Because he just had a mania to him, a violent mania to him that was unlike any other in the series. But Friday the 13th holds a wicked special place in my heart. I really do wish I could see it again on the theater at least one more time. According to science, I have about 22 more years left. I'm saying less because of the way I eat and lack of exercise and how I treat myself because of my illnesses and what have you. But, yeah, I don't know. I think Friday the 13th is my most nostalgic flick, and I absolutely love it. I want to know what you think. Guys, thank you always so much for watching these with me. Happy Friday the 13th. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. I don't remember when Hanukkah starts, so I don't think it starts yet. Maybe it will. Maybe it will. I don't know. But either way, if it started already or if it's about to start, and should you celebrate with the menorahs and all the stuffs, happy Hanukkah to you. May all of you guys' holidays be blessed. I'm actually doing this on the 3rd, so 10 days from now you'll see this. I will give this to my members first, though. Whenever I upload a movie that gets scheduled or a video, I always give it to them first. That option's there now. It's awesome. You send it members only, but it's scheduled to go public at a certain date. Set it and forget it. Ron Popeil's one of my heroes in life. I love Ron Popeil. Guys, thank you always so much for watching. Again, happy holidays, happy Christmas, whatever it is. I hope it's happy. If you're not doing anything, I still think you should be happy. Either way, thanks always for watching. And wherever in the world you are, I hope you're doing well. Take care. Creep it real. And bye-bye. And remember, Jason's out there.